Hello viewers, welcome to the Editorial Analysis by Dristhi IAS. In this section, we regularly take editorials from various newspapers and news portals for a better understanding of various issues happening in India and around the globe. Dear viewers, in this section, we first try to link the editorial with our UPSC syllabus. Then we go analytical in order to understand some key points and at last some important concepts. Dear viewers, we truly hope that you like this initiative taken by Drishti IAS and your feedbacks are important for us. So kindly feel free to give your important feedbacks in the comment section. So without any further delay, let's commence our session.
Dear viewer, this video is available in Hindi as well. If you wish to watch it, please visit our Hindi YouTube channel, Drishti IAS. For your convenience, the link for this video in Hindi has been provided in the description below.
Today's editorial is taken from The Hindu, published on 5th of March 2021. The title of today's editorial is Efficacious 2. If we try to summarize today's editorial, we can say that the restricted emergency use approval of Covaxin should be revised. If we try to link today's editorial with our UPSC syllabus, we can link it with GS Paper 3, which has sections that include science and technology, environment, biodiversity and ecology. Some key points from today's editorial: vaccine efficacy of 80.6% for Bharat Biotech's Covaxin at the first interim analysis of phase 3 trials in India is indeed promising. Though it took 2 months for the data to become available after the vaccine was approved for restricted emergency use by the Indian drug regulator. Now viewers, we all know that the phase 3 trial results of the Covaxin, which is developed by Bharat Biotech, is out. It has been said that the vaccine is almost 80.6% effective. However, the data came almost after 2 months when the vaccine was approved for the restricted emergency use by the Indian drug regulator, which is CDSCO, that is the Central Drug Standard Control Organization, which comes under the Directorate General of Health Services, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. The vaccine efficacy was measured based on symptomatic COVID-19 disease, mild, moderate or severe, 2 weeks after the second dose. Now, how exactly the vaccine efficacy was measured? Now, vaccine efficacy was measured on those people suffering from COVID-19 disease. Now, various perspectives of the disease were taken, such as people who were suffering from the mild symptoms, moderate symptoms, and the severe symptoms. The results of the vaccine was concluded after almost 2 weeks of the second dose. The interim analysis undertaken at the first endpoint of 43 COVID-19 cases in phase 3 trial carried across 26 sites in India found 36 cases in the placebo group, while only 7 COVID-19 cases in the arm that received 2 doses of the vaccine given 20 days apart. Now here we are looking at a term which is placebo. Now what exactly a placebo is? Now if we actually try to analyze placebo, so placebo is used in clinical trials to test the effectiveness of treatment and is most often used in drug studies. For instance, people in one group get the drug tested while the other receive a fake drug, or also known as placebo, that they think is the real thing. The phase 3 trial that began last November recruited 25,800 participants, with one half receiving the vaccine whereas the other received a placebo. See, what exactly is the reason why the vaccine and a placebo thing is given? See, out of the total people participated, 25,800, one half was given the real vaccine whereas other was given a fake one, that is a placebo. In order to actually find out how exactly the vaccine is working, what exactly is the effect of the vaccine, that is to compare. Okay. While the phase 3 trial will continue till 130 participants in both groups put together develop COVID-19 disease. Interim analysis will be carried out when there are another 87 cases. Now, this is a general idea. Now, how exactly the remaining process will continue? This has been mentioned here. The present scenario: Covaccin's efficacy of 80.6% at the first interim analysis is higher than AstraZeneca or Covishield vaccine efficacy of 55.1% when the second dose is administered less than 6 weeks after the first. In India, the second dose of Covishield is approved for 4 to 6 weeks after the first. Now, if we compare the efficacy rate of Covaxin against Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, which is also known by the name Covishield, we can say that Covaxin is at a much better slot with an efficacy rate of around 80.6%, whereas the efficacy rate for the AstraZeneca vaccine is only 55.1%. Also, the phase 3 trials recruited 2433 participants over the age of 60 and included 4500 people with comorbidities. Now, the data that was taken, the tests that were conducted for the phase 3 trial, it included 2433 people whose age was over 60 years. That means we just wanted to see how exactly it is working, whether it is effective on elderly people or not. Also, around 4500 people were also taken who were suffering from or were having some kind of comorbidity. Now, what exactly comorbidity is? Now, in simple terms, comorbidity refers to the presence of more than one disorder in the same person. For example, if a person is diagnosed with both social anxiety disorder (SAD) and major depressive disorder, then they are said to have comorbid. That means coexisting anxiety and depressive disorders. You have to understand SAD, okay, it's just an example that I'm giving here, and MDD. Now, MDD. Now, one person has got both these diseases. One disease that deals with social anxiety disorder. The second one is major depressive disorder. A person is suffering from anxiety as well as the person is suffering from depression. Okay, so we can say that both these diseases are present at one time in that particular person, and we can say that the person has got some or other kind of comorbidity. However, those with severe or uncontrolled comorbidities were not recruited. The comorbidity people that were included, they were only those who had very mild symptoms of comorbidity. Those suffering from severe or uncontrolled comorbidity, they weren't included in this at all. As per the phase 1 data published in the Lancet Infectious Diseases and a preprint of the phase 2 trial, Covaxin appears to be safe and highly immunogenic and has been found to be effective against B.1.1.7 variant first found in the United Kingdom, or you can say in Britain. Now, according to the data that is published, it has been told about Covaxin that Covaxin is a safe and a immunogenic vaccine. Also, one of the biggest advantage associated is that Covaxin is very much effective against the new variant of COVID that was found in Britain, that is the B.1.1.7 variant. While Covaxin accounts for less than 10% of all COVID-19 vaccinations in India, the absolute number of vaccinations as on March 3 stands at over 1.6 crores. Now, so far of all the vaccination drive that has been conducted in the country, Covaxin's contribution is only 10%. According to the recent data published on March 3rd, almost 1.6 crore people have been vaccinated. No deaths associated with the Covaxin have been reported so far. Another very important thing that is to be noted, that no death has been reported with the use of the Covaxin. Though the first interim analysis is based on 43 cases, which is smaller when compared with other vaccines that have been approved by other regulators, the vaccine appears safe and efficacious in phase 3 and early stages of human trial and animal studies. However, the death data that we have conducted yet is only based on 43 cases. The sample size is just 43. But it has been expected that The vaccine is absolutely safe and has got a tremendous amount of efficacy. And it has been seen in both the stages of human trials as well as animal studies. The way forward. The Indian regulator, that is CDSCO, should therefore revise the restricted emergency use approval such that Covaxin is treated on a par with Covishield and should no longer seek additional precautions in the form of signed consent before vaccination, and also remove the label clinical trial mode from the approval. Their continuation would send a wrong signal about its safety and efficacy. Now that we have all the data that is required for Covaxin, it is the responsibility of the Indian drug regulator that they have to revise the restricted emergency use status. Also, Covaxin should be treated at par with Covishield as far as the aspects of a vaccine are concerned. No need of any additional precautions is required while the person is given or is dosed with the Covaxin. There should not be any sort of consent form to be signed before the vaccination, or there has to be a removal of the label from the bottles or from the vaccinations, that for clinical trial mode. Okay, now the vaccine's efficacy has proved that it is really very effective and it should be continued. If it is not done, definitely people will have some suspicion about this, and it is definitely going to give a very wrong signal about the safety and efficacy of the vaccine. With a narrow window of opportunity available to vaccinate people before a second wave probably sets in or dangerous variants get established, India can ill afford to have roadblocks in the uptake of either vaccine. Now, it has been said that we don't know about the nature of corona. In India right now, we haven't seen a second wave. So we don't know how this virus can mutate and we can see it again. So the best thing that we have right now is whatever window we have to vaccinate majority of the people as much as we can, unless things become difficult, because the new mutations of the virus that we are seeing in various parts of the world, such as South Africa, Brazil, Britain, etc., they are quite difficult. People are facing that many vaccines are not working upon the new strains, new mutants. So India should take this initiative forward and should try to vaccinate as much as people it can. Now, viewer, this was with today's editorial analysis. A question that can be framed with reference to today's editorial is: what is the process of vaccine development and what do we mean by the term emergency use? So viewers, I hope you liked today's editorial analysis. Thank you very much.